far. Hi everybody, Robert Jones back in the kitchen with you today, doing a little cooking for the fall or winter or whenever you want to do it, but I'm doing it for the fall right now. I'm having some friends over in about 2 days, so I thought I'd get a head start. I'm making a beef stew today and I want to bring you guys along. Now I'm trying really hard to keep this to being a simple beef stew. I want you guys to be able to reproduce this easily, and then you can embellish it. I'm wanting to put peppers in it, I'm wanting to put spices, I'm wanting to put all kinds of crazy stuff in it, but I'm going to keep it really simple today. And then, as you want, you can add your own stuff to this. So check it out. This is going to be a really easy recipe. It's going to be in multi-stages, so you're going to need a big pot and you're going to need a big bowl, because what you're going to do is you're going to cook things along the way and put them in the bowl, and at the end we're going to add them all back in and cook the soup together and make the stew that way. So hang with me. Don't worry, we'll get there together. It'll be good. All right, you guys, check this out. Okay, you guys, we are over here at the pot, and this is going to be a lot of pot watching, but it's all going to make sense. So hang with me here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in the different vegetables one at a time, and we're going to brown them. Now, the idea of a stew that you want it to be rich is to create the brown stuff. When you create it on meat, it's called the fond. I think it's still called that on the vegetables, but basically what you're doing is you're caramelizing the sugars and the proteins, and that's what's going to give you a nice rich beef stew. So let's start with just a little bit of oil. We want to put this into a nice hot pan. You can see there it's probably a little bit smoky. Maybe you can see that. And I've got just 2 brown onions going in nice and hot. Sometimes you want color on onions and sometimes you don't. Today is one of those days you definitely do. So that's why I've got it so hot, steaming here, because we want to develop the color of the onion. And by the way, this is 2 onions with just a 1/4 inch dice. If you want, you can check out my slicing videos, and I will show you everything there is to know about slicing some onions. Alright, well, let this go for a couple minutes. Okay, can you guys see the color starting to develop down there? That's what we want. You don't have to stir them all the time, just don't let them burn. Okay, and as we're going along here, I'm going to add some salt. I'm not too worried about too much salt right now, but I'm going to salt these pretty well because I want to draw the moisture out of the onion and create layers of salt as we go. So this is going to help the browning process. Okay, you guys see that's getting pretty dark. So I'm going to turn off the heat. And now I've got a large bowl, and I'm just going to dump all the onions into the large bowl. Okay, guys, I'm done. I just put the onions in a bowl. I didn't get them all. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to put this back on the heat. You guys can see this brown. That's a good thing. That means it's going to be a brown sauce. So now I am taking 1.5 pounds of white mushrooms, or button mushrooms, what do you want to call them. I just quarter them, so you got the mushroom like this. I pull the stem, I just break the stem in half, and then these I show you just by breaking it. Just cut them or break them in half and in quarters. So mushroom in there. Now the mushrooms, whoa, the mushrooms are going to release a lot of water. So at first this is going to seem really dry, and then all of a sudden there's going to be a ton of water coming out of these, and it's going to deglaze this pan really nicely. Oh, by the way, deglazing means that it's going to take all of this good brownness off the bottom. Okay, we are there. See how we're back to being dry? We've got the pan partially deglazed. The mushrooms are done. Let's take those off. Okay, by this point you're thinking, this pan looks like hell. Don't worry. Okay, I've got the heat back on high. Now I'm going to add some oil. Get this hot again. Just a couple tablespoons. And now we're going to fry our meat in 3 different sections. Alright you guys, check it out. We got 4 pounds of meat here. I got it, it was already cut up at Costco. So we're going to do this in a couple different sections. This is just beef. Now here's, well, maybe we'll do it in 2. Okay, so here's what you want to do. Put your meat in and don't touch it. Okay, you're probably wondering why not to touch the meat, because this is what you want. See this brown? That's hot. See the brown? See this part? That's the fond. That's the protein cooking, and that's what's going to make it have a brown stew. So you got to let it sit long enough to let the brown cook and develop. Okay, so stir it and then don't touch it. Alright, you see that one? That is perfect. So we're just going to repeat the process. And this time, since I forgot last time, I'm going to add salt and pepper to the meat. This is a grinder, if you guys can't tell. Nice thick grind. And some salt. Woo! Now we're cooking. That's how it's supposed to be. Alright, so the lesson here is don't overcrowd your meat like I did the first time. Okay guys, you ready for the ancient Chinese secret here? If you are trying to keep halal or kosher, turn your eyes away. This is my secret tin of bacon fat, of which I'm going to put about 1/4 cup in here. If you don't want bacon fat, please, you can use just regular oil or whatever kind of fat you'd like to use. And here is what we are doing. We are making a roux. So we're going to have fat and 1/2 cup of flour, and we just want to brown our flour in the fat. What is this going to do? This is going to, first of all, add a lot of flavor, and second of all, this is going to make the stew thick. Alright, let me get rid of this dumb spoon. There we go. I love a paddle. So, dissolve the flour in the fat as such. It's going to come off the bottom here, and basically we want to brown the flour. Okay, so you should smell it. It should start to smell kind of nutty, and that is what we were looking for. And again, I'm going to add a little bit of pepper. Don't worry, I'll have measurements on the recipe for you. And then I'm going to add some salt, probably about 1 tablespoon. Give that a stir. It's starting to smell good. Don't worry, it looks a little soupy now. Okay, that's smelling good. Now, here's the secret. I'm using tomato paste, and if you just cut off both ends, you can push it straight through. And boop! Look at that. If you don't have tomato paste, you can use tomato sauce. You can use fresh tomatoes. This is what's called staining the sauce. So we're going to break this up into here. It's going to cook the tomato flavor down a little bit. Alright, I'm going to turn down our heat because I feel like we're going a little fast. It's okay if it gets kind of weird and pasty. That's what it's supposed to do. Like that. And then add some water. And now I'm going to switch tools. Now, don't worry about the amount of water because we're going to add a lot more later. This is just to get this roux broken back up, get the tomato sauce loosened up, And we want to make sure we get all of our lumps out. Looking nice and dark and brown. Now we want it dark brown. We don't want it burnt. Okay. We have a nice base for our soup here. It looks red, but don't worry, when we add all the brown ingredients. Alright, I'm going to crank that back up. Okay, that's not getting nice and thick. That's what we want. The idea here is to just make sure that it's not burning and that we're getting all the lumps out. So that looks like a nice thick tomato soup, doesn't it? You guys see that? It smells delicious. Okay, now you want to add about 3 cloves of garlic. Chopped up. I just use the pre-chopped kind because I've got a ton of it and I use it all the time. And now is the time we put all this stuff. Look at all the juices in there. Can you guys see those juices? So we're going to pour carefully. This is our onions and our beef and our mushrooms. All the goodness back in the pot. Now there's still stuff in here. Don't waste this. Put your water in here when you're going to bring it to the stove and you can get all the goodies out. Okay, now you can see why I wasn't worried about the water yet. There we go. Rinsed clean. Yes, I keep switching utensils. Okay, because this is my favorite one. Now it's starting to look like soup. Look at there. Beefy, mushroomy, oniony, garlicky. Is that looking more like stew, you guys? I told you. Have some faith. The 2-pot method makes you proud every time. Alright, so we're just going to get this up to temperature. I'm going to add a little bit more water. Correction, I forgot. I had my stock. I'm going to put some stock in here now. Alright, this is just Swanson beef broth and it's 48 ounces. You guys see that? Alright, now I got to leave some room in here because I've still got potatoes and carrots to go. Okay, so basically you've got your basis for the soup here. You've got your meat, you've got your onions, you've got your mushrooms, you've got all your spices, you've got salt, you've got all that kind of stuff. So be sure and taste it now and check for your salt. Oh, that's pretty darn good. Now, it's a tiny bit on the salty side, but that's okay because when I put the carrots and the potatoes in here, it is going to suck up all that salt flavor, which is what I want it to do. Okay, so we're going to let this go for about an hour. We're going to let this cook for an hour at a slow simmer, and then we're going to add our potatoes and our carrots. All right, see you in an hour. Bum, 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 bum. All right, you guys, here's what you get after an hour. You might be able to see that the liquid has reduced about 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch inside the pot. I have stirred it a couple times. You can see that the meat has tightened up in a little bit smaller pieces. You want to make sure you scrape the fond out of the bottom as it's cooking here. Okay, now we're just going to add 2 pounds of potatoes and 1.5 pounds of carrots. So these are just small potatoes. You can use what you like. I like these because they stay together as one piece. And the carrots are just in bite-sized pieces. So let me just pour these in here. And stir this down. So now you have some choices. You can do a couple different things. I'm just going to leave mine on the stove on a nice slow simmer. You could also put a lid on this and pop this sucker in the oven if you don't want to watch it. It will cook all by itself. You could be doing all of this in a slow cooker. But easy peasy, you guys. And after this cooks for an hour, we're going to have some stew. It's almost time to taste the soup, to taste the stew. Ooh! Okay, guys, check it out. I stirred this once in a while. Oh, look at that. Luscious. All right, you guys, let's stir this up a little bit here. Check it out. Beautiful stew. Now, it is really, really hot. It is boiling hot, and it looks a little thin, but don't worry. As this cools down, it's going to get quite thick. I tasted a piece of the meat earlier, and it is good to go. So, check that out. And this meat was really, really lean, so there's not that much fat in here at all. Most of the fat that you're probably seeing is from the roux that we made. All right, let's serve up a bowl and get a taste. It is the moment you've been waiting for. Woo! Check it out. Can you guys see this? I don't want to tip it too much. Beef stew. Beef stew. Beef stew. Beef stew. Beef stew. Okay, so check it out. Big meat. Big meat in a little bowl. Actually, I'm gonna try to have let's have a little bite here first. Okay, so a little bite of meat. It is so tender. Let me see if I can cut this with my spoon. Yes, I can. Look at that. Just to show you, I'm cutting the meat with my spoon. All right, let's take about a carrot too. Carrot should be nice and done. Still has integrity, not mush. We like that. And this potato is small, but I'm eating on camera. Let's not make it look like I'm a pig. All right, potato on the back of a spoon. These little Goldens I like because they stay together. Cooked all the way through. And finally, the delicious mushroom. I love mushrooms and cars that go by. All right, and the luscious sauce. The luscious sauce. Let's try the sauce. Oh, you guys, that's so rich. This is as simple as beef stew gets. Try this. You'll like it. Well, did we do it? Did we do it as I promised? In stages and all the way to the end? All right, you guys. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make this beef stew today. See, it's not hard. And remember, you can embellish this as you want. You could add more herbs, you can add more spices, you can add some chili peppers, you can get crazy with this thing. Do what you want to do. It's your life. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed learning how to make this today. Check me out on Facebook page, EudaemoniusMarkII, EudaemoniusMarkII. Or you can find me as just Eudaemonius on Snapchat or Instagram if you want to see what's going on a daily basis. Love to chat with you guys, love to find out what's going on, share pictures, all that kind of stuff. You can also check out my blog if you want, which is EudaemoniusMarkII.blogspot.blah. You can also check out my blog if you'd like. It's EudaemoniusMarkII.blogspot.com. There are extra recipes and pictures and all kinds of fun stuff on there, and you guys can comment and we can have conversation there too. I like to talk to you guys. All right, you guys. Hope you guys are having a good day, and I will talk to you later. Bye. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Thank you.